Sonic the Hedgehog and Dr. Eggman, a classic hero-villain dynamic that's gone through decades of innovations, spin-offs, rebrands, and straight-up dog shit. This duo is the basis of just about every Sonic game, but their bitter hatred for one another has definitely lightened up in the past couple of years, most recently with the two of them teaming up for the third Sonic movie. So today, we're gonna look at every single time these guys join forces and rank them from worthless to elite. The first Sonic adventure isn't exactly a full-blown team-up, but it is the first case of these two kinda working together. After Perfect Chaos is formed and subsequently betrays Eggman, both him and Sonic are fighting against the same force, and while Sonic does basically all the work, it's the first game where Eggman's not the biggest threat to Sonic. They don't work together at all though. Eggman's just not standing in Sonic's way for the final battle, so it belongs down in worthless. This game has the first real alliance between Sonic and Eggman. After Shadow tricks Eggman into powering the Eclipse Cannon to the point of no return, Eggman realizes how royally screwed they are, and having nowhere else to turn, he faces the group he's been spitting in the face of this entire game. He gives them his grandpa's snooze fest of a diary. It confirms that, yep, they're f***ed. So they game plan and try and figure out how they're gonna shut down the cannon. He's the one to reassure everyone that there's hope, and tells them about the shortcut to the core. So all 6 playable characters complete a short section of level, including both Sonic and Eggman, and they make it in time to save the day. Now, Sonic goes on to contribute way more, but Eggman's body doesn't react the same to the Chaos Emeralds, so that's all he can really do, and being able to play as both of them for this team-up is more than we can say for any of these others. It's kinda an elite look. The only problem is, he's the one that caused the problem, so it's not a pure team-up, and therefore it goes right under elite as an Eggman redemption. Throughout the entire game, you're tricked into thinking Eggman's the bad guy, but he was really betrayed by Metal Sonic, who uses the Eggman facade to scan all the characters' data and use it to become an unstoppable force. Eggman's chilling in a cell somewhere until right at the end of the game, just in time to watch Metal Overlord take his full form. And at that point, he kinda does the Adventure 2 thing again. He brings everyone together and helps devise a plan to defeat the larger threat. This time though, Eggman himself doesn't go out there and contribute. Cream the f***ing Rabbit does, but not him. This guy's all bark, no bite. Sonic does more than anyone else, and Eggman doesn't do anything more than rile everyone up, which deserves a bit more than worthless, so I'll say kinda helps. This team-up only happens in the good ending, where Sonic collects all 7 Chaos Emeralds, and once again, Eggman's actions have consequences. This time, it's Jamerl, who steals all the Chaos Emeralds from Sonic to become Ultimate Jamerl, and then just drops the emeralds to allow Sonic to become Super Sonic. Him and Eggman then take to the skies and work together to take him down. You gotta use the tag action to shoot Eggman's mech at the robot and expose the eye, then lunge at it with Super Sonic to deal damage. So both parties are equal contributors, and it's mega redemption for Eggman. I really want to put it in elite because this is the only instance where it's just these two taking on the final form of a giant f***ing monster, but again, he caused it, so it's just hell of a redemption. This one might not make sense at first, because Sonic's helping Gun throughout the game and Dr. Eggman's another party entirely, but the two of them both die in some endings, so it's safe to say only the last story actually counts. In it, they all back Shadow up and try to convince him not to give the Chaos Emeralds to Black Doom. Their efforts are for nothing though, because Shadow's the only character that's powerful enough to do anything against this guy, and while Sonic and Eggman are on the same side, they don't do much to help, so it's another worthless. Sonic and Eggman's conflict seems like anything but the main event in this game. Eggman steals the princess, Sonic saves her. Eggman kidnaps her again, wouldn't you f***ing know, Sonic rescues her. Some real Mario Bowser type shit. Iblis and Mephiles are the actual forces to worry about, and Eggman once again f***ed around and found out. Solaris is created and causes their entire reality to collapse, with their only hope of bringing things back to normal being Sonic's revival. Eggman plays the victim card for a minute, but then explains a little bit about Solaris, gives everyone some hope, and tells them that the Chaos Emeralds are still scattered in this little area that somehow survived time itself collapsing. He tells everyone to go and collect them, and I guess he just hangs back with Elise? That awkward silence had to be legendary. Yeah, so sorry for kidnapping. Don't talk to me. With all 7 Chaos Emeralds, Elise saves Sonic, and him, Shadow, and Silver all go super and save the day. This is almost a carbon copy of Eggman's contribution in Sonic Heroes, so it's another kinda helps. The game starts with a flashback to a classic Sonic vs. Eggman battle, where Eggman, shockingly, loses once again, and the characters think that's the last of him for a while. Sonic just goes on vacation, and only gets back into adventuring because Knuckles got kidnapped by some dangerous group called the Marauders. They save Knuckles, and Tails invents an Eggman tracker to figure out where he is and how he ties into these new bad guys. And come to find out, nothing, he didn't do anything wrong. He claims to have turned over a new leaf, and joins their cause in stopping these guys from taking over their dimension. He's actually actually, like, super helpful for a while. Sonic and Knuckles go after the Master Emerald, and Tails and Eggman work together on developing a machine to send the Marauders home. And on top of that, he and Tails show up and save Sonic and the crew when they're about to lose. And when the Marauders escape with the Master Emerald, it's him and Tails that create a dimension-hopping vehicle to follow him, and so they do. But Eggman stays back in their dimension because he wants to make sure they all get back okay.
So that was a f***ing lie.
Time moves much faster in this alternate dimension, so Eggman uses that time to build up one of his most menacing empires to date, that, surprise, ambushes them once they get back, and the game ends with the biggest cliffhanger in the series. This one's tough to place, because it's more of a Tails and Eggman team-up than a Sonic and Eggman one, and him backstabbing them at the end taints everything he actually helped with, but he did contribute a good bit still, so a mid-tier as part-time allies fits well. This game probably comes to mind first when you think of these guys teaming up. They marketed it pretty heavily, and it is the only mainline game where they're friendly to one another for a majority of the story. Eggman tries to tame the Deadly Six with some magic conch, and Sonic smacks it out of his hands to stop him. But once out of Eggman's control, the Zeddy use their mind control powers to take over Eggman's robots and leave the three of them cooked. They escape this encounter, but the Zeddy get control of Eggman's mega machine that sucks planets of their power and intend to completely destroy it, leaving them no other choice than to team up and use Eggman's knowledge of the machine and Sonic's everything else to save the day. Eggman's not seen in any gameplay, but he shows up in most cutscenes, and yeah, these are pretty terribly written and hard to watch, but Eggman proves himself on multiple occasions to be a trustworthy ally. He saves Tails from something stupid he did, and saves Sonic after a bridge they were walking on collapses, and tosses him to safety before he can save himself. He's a hell of a guy, and without him, Sonic and Tails both would have died, which makes it all the more confusing when he betrays them at the end. Dude, if you would've just not went out of your way to save him, you would've won. But I guess the team up was successful because they accomplished exactly what they wanted to in stopping the Zeddy, so part-time allies fits pretty well. Almost every episode of the Sonic Boom animated series has some kind of team-up between the two, but I'm focusing on the games here, and in the atrocious rise of Lyric, they help each other quite a bit. After failing to team up with Lyric at the start of the game, and having his own robot turned against him, Eggman's left with the realization that he's no match for Lyric, and after even Team Sonic can't defeat him, Eggman decides to intervene when Lyric least expects it and lands the fatal blow on him. He doesn't cooperate with Sonic and Co., but the group was caught and about to get killed, and if it weren't for Eggman, Lyric would have won. They did fight at times throughout the game, but Eggman didn't create Lyric, nor help him rise to power, and stepping in to save his enemies is a pretty freaking elite thing to do. And obviously, Sonic was fighting with Lyric throughout the entire game, so his contributions are self-explanatory. Eggman's not the main bad guy in this game. The beginning has him trying to harness the power of cyberspace, but it envelops him and leaves him stuck in there, just like Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. Sonic, however, escapes to the Starfall Islands, and Eggman's AI daughter Sage goes there too, first trying to stop Sonic, but eventually growing to respect him a lot more, and even trying to convince Eggman to help him against the true threat in this game, the End. That's literally what it's called. Eggman inducts him into the Eggman Empire, and despite specifically clarifying that it's
not an alliance,
it damn well is. At the very end of the game, Sonic hasn't collected all the emeralds, but his old buddy Egghead pulls through with number 7 and allows Sonic to go super and stop the world-ending threat. He's not on the front lines of saving the day like in some other games, but him being wholeheartedly committed to helping Sonic and having no ulterior motive makes this his second straight elite. And there you have it. After looking at all these team-ups, what do you think's gonna happen in Sonic Movie 3? Leave your thoughts down below, and thank you so much for watching.